Radio dial. Big Dog's taking care of business for a while. If you're listening to another station, I don't understand. Nobody does it like Thom Abraham.
Give us a call, Steve.
He's a northern-bred, southern-fed, slick-talking guy. Listeners in his posse are the junkyard dogs. The SEC from Tennessee to calling them hogs. From Gainesville up to Lexington to the Titan Tiger Land. Nobody does it like Thom Abraham.
I guess I'm on here. Am I on? Can somebody respond?
And good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to the Thom Abraham Show on a Beat the Big Dog Thursday. And I'm going to tell you what, this one here is coming to you from, it's just one of my favorite places on the planet for sure. It is, of course, the Salt Factory at Mid-Century. It is really nice over here, and they have what is I believe to be the best fish and chips anywhere on the planet. No, I just believe this to be true. All right, and it is outstanding, and I just knocked that down, so I'm very, very happy about that as well. Now, listen, the place is tremendous, and I want you to keep a lookout for a new zone deal coming up soon for the Salt Factory. And they got TVs in here, and they got pubs in here. They got live music in here apparently, because I've had a new experience, and I'll tell you about that in a few moments when I bring Joe in here. But you guys again beat me last week and beat the Big Dog. This time it was Mongo who went 4-2, and he beat my 3-3 as I was on Michigan, and he took Texas. That was the only game we were different on. I had Michigan. He had Texas. I promise you that won't happen again. I was drinking a Kool-Aid and thinking that Michigan couldn't possibly be as bad as what they were. And sure enough, they were as bad as what they were. And it cost me tickets to the Music City Bowl for Beat the Big Dog. So, of course, in the Music City Bowl, one listener picking 6 games against me. If you beat me, then you get tickets to the TransPerfect Music City Bowl in Nashville on December 30th. And I'm also tossing in some chow for you as well at one of our great restaurants, like right here at the Salt Factory. Now, for the season, we keep track of these for the entire season to see how you guys do against me. And I'll be quite honest, in 15, 16 years of Beat the Big Dog, I've only been beaten like 3 times, including last year. And the season-long picks against the spread. But for the season, I open up after 2 weeks at 4-8, which is 3 games behind you guys who are 7-6. So this week, everything changes. All right, this is the week I turn it around on you. Okay? I have 3 NFL games and 3 college games on the board today. And we'll get Beat the Big Dog in the second hour. There's a nice game in the NFL tonight as Buffalo is in Miami. And, I get the desire to have better Thursday night schedule for prime, but I still object to these games on Thursday night. It's a good game. Don't get me wrong. It's a quality game, but I still object to these games being played on a Thursday night unless it's coming off a bye week, and they never seem to be coming off a bye week. This game could decide the division in 4 months, and it's being played off of one practice and not nearly enough time to get the adult body to heal properly. Now, the Bills are a 2.5-point dog in this one, and historically, Josh Allen has owned the Dolphins. In fact, Josh Allen has more yards and more yards passing and more yards rushing combined against the Miami Dolphins. In his 13 games against the Dolphins, he has more yards passing and rushing than any other quarterback against any other team in the history of the NFL. Okay, just like that. It's incredible, how he has done against the Dolphins. We'll see whether or not they can get it done tonight. The Bills, as I said, a 2.5-point dog down there. Now, there is only one guy that is foolish enough to make this a survivor pool pick, and that would be Paul Iniquet, who will actually be at the game. But no matter, because after the Patriots won in Cincinnati last week, there are basically no survivors left in the pool anyway. I mean, my gosh. I mean, how many people got taken out by the Bengals losing to the Patriots? That was like the number 1 game in the survivor pools was take the Bengals over the Patriots at home. And of course, that was the biggest upset of the weekend. Now, big college news coming from out west as the Pac-12 is rebuilding itself with a raid on the Mountain West as Boise State, Fresno State, San Diego State, and Colorado State are going to join Washington State and Oregon State beginning in the 2026 season in what they should call the Pac State, I guess. I mean, these schools are going to owe the Mountain West exit fees of $18 million each. So it's not like, the ACC and the schools that want to get out of there and, the total, of $500 million that, with all the grant of rights for the next 15 years and all that. It's not like that, but it is $18 million. So each school will owe $18 million to the Mountain West. The Pac-12 will owe the Mountain West a $43 million poaching fee that was put in place when the Mountain West and the Pac-12 came up with this scheduling agreement that they came up with for this year. Okay, and they said, okay, well, this is what's going to happen. If you decide to poach some of our teams, you're going to have to pay us some dough. So, and that apparently is what's going on there. Now, there's certain to be more schools to follow, right? This is not going to be a 6-team conference. But the bigger issue is how this conference will be viewed. Because just calling yourself the Pac-12 does not make you a power conference. It's still going to be the P4. There's still going to be the Pac-12 is a group of 5 conference. I mean, right now they're a group of. Well, I guess it should be the group of 6. Right now the Pac-12 has 2 teams. So if they're a conference, they're a group of 6 conference. So we still got the Power 4 and a group of 6. Just because these teams move up into the Pac-12 doesn't automatically make that a power conference. I'm sorry. Now, 2026 is also the year that there will be more adjustments made in the playoff format as well. Most think that it goes to 14 teams in the playoff. Others say it'll go to 16. To me, it makes no sense to go to 14. You got to go to 16. We have 2 teams on a bye. That's not right. Just go to 16-team playoff, and then you're done. Don't jerk with it anymore. This move will leave 8 teams in the Mountain West. So who knows where the merry-go-round will stop next. I mean, maybe Cal and Stanford can go back home. Go back where maybe they could leave the Any Coast Conference, the ACC, not the Atlantic Coast Conference, the Any Coast Conference. Maybe they can leave the ACC and go back home to California because they might not get as much TV money out of this revised Pac-12 as they do in the ACC, but they will certainly save on travel costs. I mean, what they save on travel costs would offset what they're going to lose out on TV money. I mean, it's just and then they could be the Pac-8, which is what they were originally before they became the Pac-10 and the Pac-12. All right, coming up on the show today at the bottom of the hour, Steve Merrill is in from Wager Talk TV, back with a look at the weekend. And by the way, this dude is killing it in baseball as well. He is on a 27-7 run. We're talking about 27 of the last 34 baseball selections he's given out have been winners. That I'm not 100% sure, but I think that's pretty good. I don't know, but I think that's pretty good when you have 27 winners and 7 losers. Justin Ferguson is our Auburn correspondent from the Auburn Observer, and he will be in at the top of the one as well as the Tigers look to pick up the pieces against New Mexico. Now, this is the Lobos, not the New Mexico State Aggies, which went to Auburn last week and beat Auburn. The Lobos have a loss so far this season to an FCS school already in week 1. If you remember that loss where they gave up a couple of touchdowns late to lose in week 1. So we'll see whether or not, they can get it turned around, and we'll see what's going on with the quarterback situation. Very cryptic comments from Hugh Freeze yesterday talking about the possibility of, making a change. And he was specifically talking about at the quarterback position. Wanted to see how things went in practice this week and everything else. Look, doesn't matter what happens in practice. It matters what happens when the lights go on. It matters what happens on game day. Have you seen enough, Auburn fan? Have you seen enough of Peyton Thorne to say, you know what, go with one of the young guys. Got to see what you got. Because Peyton Thorne, I hate to say it, is not taking you anywhere. Not. What's he going to do? Get you 6 wins? Get you bowl eligible? Get you a 7th win maybe? What's the point? Guy's like a 9th-year senior. You need to get somebody ready to go. So I'm advocating for Peyton Thorne to the bench. We'll see what Justin Ferguson has to say about that. Lines are open, 256-576-4977. You can text the show, 732-9TA-SHOW. That's 732-982-7469. It is a great way to communicate with us. My X feed is at Thom Abraham Show. You can find the Zone on X at 97.7 ESPN. And go ahead and follow at ESPN Winchester while you're at it. And you can check out our YouTube channel at WZZN-TV. I understand we lost our video feed. We'll have that back here in a moment. But from the Salt Factory. The Zone has an app that you're going to want to snag as well. You're going to want to get the Talk Radio WZZN app. Take care of the Rocket City Trash Pandas and the remainder of the week here as they wrap up their season. Then on Friday night on Talk Radio 2, the Huntsville High is at Madison City Stadium to take on James Clemens. We got another slammed Friday night coming up on a high school streaming sports network. In what could be some weather-affected games. We're going to have to wait and see. But we got the Cotton Classic with Buckhorn and Hazel Green on the air in the primary feed with John Boy and me on that one. We've got on Zone 3 and Zone 5, Randolph and Westminster crews. We'll be handling that game. On Zone 4, Joe Hunk and John Abraham have Sparkman and Albertville. And then don't forget, and we also got the game of the week coming from down at Joe Davis Stadium, where Steve will be down there. Special guest appearance, Hoss Johnson doing the color with Steve on that game down there. And then after all of the action, it's the Woody Anderson Ford High School football scoreboard show powered by Gunnersville Ace Hardware. Those of you listening in Franklin County on WCDT will get Franklin County and Tullahoma on WCDT. That is over the air there. Huntland is off this week. All right, back at Mission Control, playing the Platters of Matter and the Stacks of Wax and answering the phones and keeping us on the air, the one and only Jumpin' Joe Hunk.
Baby shark, baby shark.
Hello, I'm looking for some horsemen.
I've got plenty. How many you need?
4.
4 horsemen. You can hardly understand what you're saying, but...
Sorry, I got a little bit of a lift.
If I saw myself in clothes like those, I'd have to kick my own ass.
Tom, can you get me off the hook? For old time's sake.
Who in the blue hell are you?
I'm the producer of the show. If I didn't step up, you're nowhere. I put this thing together out of spit and polish.
What is your name? Detective. It doesn't matter what your name is.
And this is important because let's get that third one. They hit that little tank, get that heroic ability.
Satisfaction is guaranteed. So passionate.
Jordan!
So long as lives in the sea, you can't have what's left of me. And as far as I can tell, it's our time. I wish.
Here it is, Joe. Here's the culprit. All right. Can you see here if you're watching on Joe? Joe, of course, is looking at me
dongle.
here.
It's a dongle.
You see that little dongle there?
Yep.
That's the dongle for my mouse, okay?
Yep.
That I use at the studio, at the Big Dog Production Studio. I forgot to pull it out. If this dongle, this is so crazy. You know, this technology stuff, it's so advanced and then it's so stupid. But if this little dongle is in the computer, if it's stuck in the computer, if I use another USB port, which is what the camera uses, if I use another USB port, this dongle blocks the video from coming through.
Ah,
how about that?
Dumb dongles.
Dongle
It used to be a word. It used to be a generic word that we just use for things that we don't really know what it is, but now dongle is an actual term for items now.
And it's such a tiny dongle that I'm always afraid that I'm going to lose it. You know what I mean? I throw it here on the counter and then or on the tabletop, and then I'm going to lose this thing. So Joe, go ahead.
I was about to say, does your mouse not have a spot underneath it where you can put the dongle whenever you're having to charge your mouse? Because I mean, mine does. That's why I was asking, so that you don't lose it.
Mine does,
okay.
Except for I don't bring my dongle with me when I go on a road. You probably should take your dongle with you everywhere you go.
Yeah, you don't want to be dongleless whenever when you're out at the Salt Factory.
Because you never know what's going to happen. You know what I mean? You should have your dongle. It'd be like, you want to take your dongle with you wherever you go.
Yes.
But I did not bring my mouse with me because I don't use my mouse when I'm on the road. But I do have my dongle. And my dongle used to be much bigger than this. It's a little dongle now.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
That kind of happens as you get, newer equipment and stuff. Sometimes the old stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. The old equipment was bigger. The new equipment is kind of small.
Yeah.
There on the dock. Okay. So new experience. Yeah. Are we still talking about the dongle?
Yes, 100% talking about the dongle.
So new experience for me today. I get here to the salt factory, which is, have you ever been to the salt factory?
No. As a matter of fact, every time I would drive on Research Park, I would look over and see it and think, man, you know what? I bet you that place would be pretty good to go watch some games.
Mid-City is really cool, and the whole Mid-City is really cool, but the salt factory is especially cool. And it got big, booths here as well, and it's got an old English pub feel to it. You'd think that this place has been here for 20 years, not a year. But anyway, so I get in here and I'm talking to the manager, right? And he's getting me set up and everything else. And, they're happy I'm here and all this. And I said, look, this table here right to the next to me. All right, right to the right of me over here. I said, I need to keep this table aside too, because my wife and my daughter, Kelly, are coming to the show today. They're going to come and have lunch at the show today. They're at a Bible study over in the Madison, and they're going to come down here to the show. And so he says to me, Kelly, I says, yeah, my daughter, Kelly, she's actually a singer, and she's going to be performing over here at Camptown, or whatever they call that thing over there, with an album release. He says, Kelly from Luna Koi? I said, yeah, Kelly from Luna Koi. That's my daughter. Guy got all bent out of shape, got all excited. You're kidding me. You're Kelly's dad? Now I'm Kelly's dad. He goes, she's played here. She's coming here tonight. Guy got all excited because I'm not because I'm Thom Abraham, not because I've been doing this for 20 years here in town, not because I'm the big dog, not because I've got the longest running show in the history of North Alabama. No, not that. I'm Kelly's dad.
Yeah.
That's what I am now. I'm Kelly's dad.
Yeah. No. That again also comes with age. Whenever you have found out that your kids are more talented than you are at everything that you've probably worked your tail off at trying to be good at, they now just do it with ease. That's absolutely it. I know at some point in time, I'm going to be Ollie's dad or Oliver's dad, whatever he goes by whenever he gets that age, because that man has, he's 5 years old. He's about to turn 6. He has more talent at 5 years old than I had at 25 years old.
Yeah.
So that's going to happen. It's going to happen. Yeah. You're now her dad. Yeah. You're not Thom anymore. You're her dad.
They're more excited. They're more excited that she's coming here.
Yeah.
Than that I'm here.
No, I mean, she's better looking. So there's that.
Looking.
There's that too.
Yeah. No, that table is going to be in much better shape over there. So anyway, so they're playing. I forget what the thing is called over there. Camp something. Is where they're doing their thing. Now, I don't know about this weather deal, because I think it's it's an outdoor venue.
It is.
I think it's this huge outdoor venue over there, but it's that's what they're going to be doing. All right, we get a quick break in here. When we come back, the aforementioned knucklehead, Paulie in the Cape, who has got Miami tonight in his survivor pool. He's taking a 2.5-point favorite that has gotten their butts kicked by Josh Allen over the years. That's his survivor pool team, all right? He's up first. You want to get in behind him, you can do it. Jump on the phone lines now. We'll go open lines in the next segment right here on the Thom Abraham Show from the Salt Factory.
You've got to experience Toyotathon at Bill Penny Toyota. They've got the selection with over 700 new Toyotas to choose from. And they've got the extras with Bill Penny perks and a 10-year unlimited warranty. So get on over to Bill Penny Toyota today and experience Toyotathon. Bill Penny Toyota in Huntsville and online at BillPennyToyota.com. Bill Penny's Toyota 10-year unlimited warranty is valid through the 10th year of ownership. Valid on new vehicles only. See dealer for details.
You need a lawyer and pick up the phone. I'm attorney Gary Lackey. When you call for a lawyer, where does that phone ring? My phone rings in my office.
I'm attorney Justin Lackey. My phone rings in my office too.
So does mine. I'm attorney Jennifer Lackey. And when you've been hurt and need help, we're the ones who take your call.
The Lackey Law Firm. The Lackey Law Family. 1-800-4RIGHTS.
No representation is made that the quality of the legal services to be performed is greater than the quality of legal services performed by other lawyers.
Owen Home Appliance Center features the biggest names in home appliances like Viking, Whirlpool, Maytag, KitchenAid, GE, and Frigidaire. But they also have great brands that you may not know, like Mela, Forno, Z-Line, Invisicook, and Beko. But no matter what, they all get delivered the day you buy, and they service everything they sell. And at the Lacey Spring Showroom, just 8 miles south of the river on 231, you'll find a totally interactive showroom where you can hear the dishwashers wash, and the freezer's free, and see the cookies get baked in the double ovens. Owen Home Appliance Center will even wash and dry a load of clothes for you so that you can see how great the products are. And they have ice machines making all kinds of ice, cubed, nugget, and top hat. How is that for variety? Owen Home Appliance Center believes in community involvement as well, sponsoring youth teams, race cars, and an annual Easter egg hunt. Quality products, quality pricing, quality service is the name of the game for Owen Home Appliance Center. Find them in Somerville and Lacey Springs and online at owenappliance.com.
1 in 3 adults in America have prediabetes, but most don't know it. To let people know it can be reversed before it becomes type 2 diabetes, professional basketball player Julius Randle is doing everything in reverse.
I'm only dunking with reverse windmills. I drove the whole way to practice in reverse. I don't recommend it. This move's called the reverse shuffle. I do recommend it. And it took me months to learn how to speak in reverse, like this. Years 10 almost for diabetes type 2 with living then has mom my. In other words, my mom has been living with type 2 diabetes for almost 10 years. So together, we want to say to the 84 million Americans at risk, exercise and healthy eating can help reverse prediabetes. Start by taking a simple 1-minute risk test at doihaveprediabetes.org.
Brought to you by the Ad Council and its prediabetes awareness partners.
Bet he can't say that in reverse.
And welcome back to Tom Abraham Show. This segment of the show is brought to you by our friends at Woody Anderson Ford, the service department, the award-winning service department at Woody Anderson Ford. The only place I've gone for over 20 years in the Tennessee Valley is the award-winning service department at Woody Anderson Ford. They keep your vehicle in perfect working order, but if you do have a bigger problem, their expert service technicians are going to quickly diagnose it. They'll use state-of-the-art tools to get it resolved. Okay, they can do it all. You know, they do obviously preventative maintenance stuff, but they also do air conditioner work, brake work, tranny repair. They got a great body shop over there. It's all at Woody Anderson Ford. And for those of you that can only get out at night or on the weekends, the Quick Lane Service Department is there for your one-stop shop for services to brakes and tires and batteries, and it's set to raw. Go to WoodyAndersonFord.com. Learn more. Make an appointment at Woody Anderson Ford. Bobby White and his team, man, they just know that service is number one, and they do a great, great job over there. The Camp is what it's called, Joe. It's just called The Camp, all right? And that's where, you know, they have the live music venue at the camp, and that's where Luna Coy will have their album release tomorrow night. I assume weather permitting. That's the only thing I don't know about with bad weather, because the camp it's an all outdoor venue here at Mid-City.
I think they may have some like tarps or something, I think is also part of it. So they may be able to perform. Like they may have a covered area. I'm trying to recall.
Yeah. It's cool. That's not why I'm here at Mid-City. It's a coincidence that it happened that way. But man, I'll tell you, Joe, the apartments, have you ever drive around in here a little bit, Mid-City? It's just growing. It changes, you know, every week when you come down here, and the apartments and everything else. I mean, if I was, you know, a 25-year-old dude and or a young married couple, I'd think about living in a place like this. I mean, this is really cool.
Oh no, that place. There are very few places in Huntsville where the venue that was torn down was destroyed for a good reason. Yeah. This one is the case, because this is doing way more than what Madison Square Mall ever used to do for the city.
Oh, no doubt about it. No doubt at all. All right, let me go to the lines. Paulie in the Cape is heading for Miami at some particular point in time, and hopefully he won't be, for his sake, won't be disappointed with his Miami Dolphins. Paulie, welcome to the show. How are you?
How you doing, Tom? Yeah, right after I get off the phone with you, I got to pick up Tyreek Hill so he doesn't get pulled over again, so I'm on a tight schedule.
I will give him credit now, and then hopefully this thing dies down. He originally, through his agent or through his representative, said they wanted the cop fired. That handled the whole thing, that the cop should be fired. Now Tyreek, I don't know if he's come off of that at all, but now Tyreek Hill is saying that he could have handled the situation better, that he, being Tyreek Hill,
like I said yesterday, he was, you know, very, you know, there's, when you have tinted windows like that on your car in this state, guess what? You don't roll down the window, I'm surprised that guy didn't shatter that glass.
Well, he rolled it down and then rolled it back up, which is even worse. When you roll it down and then roll it back up, it's like, what are you saying?
Right there is where your alert, the alert goes higher. Is like, why did he roll up his dark tinted window? I can't see if he's going for a gun. I can't see if there's someone in the back that's been laying down. Right there, the cop has every right to smash that glass.
Yeah.
Well, he realized that, hey, dude, you opened this up. You opened up Pandora's box for what the cops can do. And guess what? You got a good helping of it. That's why I'm on my way to go pick him up. So this
go pick him up.
Anyways,
don't want to have that.
I'm on my way. I'm on my way to get there. The Dolphins are going to hopefully exploit that. There's a guy on our defense that used to be a real pain in the butt when he was on their defense. Now we have him on our team, and he was the heart and soul of that secondary. So, with that being said, I see us rolling it out. I see my man Tua running for the first down to keep the drive going like he did last week. And hopefully he sees the better read option when it's available. And
yeah, we'll see. Hopefully your defense can contain Josh Allen because he's run all over you, passed all over you, 275 yards a game against you.
I guess what's going to be a lot of slapping at those wrists to get the ball loose. See how tender that wrist is. And of course, isn't it the worst feeling when you lose your suicide pick and you see your team win of the week that like the team that you pick, you didn't pick them,
yeah,
but they win, and the sorry team that you picked loses.
Yeah.
So therefore, here's the blueprint how to be a number one fan. You do it tonight. Big game, big matchup. Who's the beast in the AFC East? We're gonna see tonight. And I saw. Did you see the text I sent you? My suicide pick picture.
Oh, I saw it. I think you're nuts for doing that. I saw it. I mean, you're crazy, man.
Woo!
You are crazy. This is not the kind of game. This is too close a game to be using this as a suicide pick.
Dolphins all day. Dolphins all the way to the Super Bowl, baby. Starts tonight. Starts tonight.
Appreciate you. Be safe. Don't argue with the police. Joe, we have somebody listening to the show right now in Helsinki. Is Helsinki in Finland? Helsinki, Finland. That's a true story. Steve Moulton is looking at the streaming numbers right now, which have been off the chart. I mean, the number of people are listening to the high school streaming network. It's just incredible. So I have him gathering up some numbers. I said, I need to know what the total listenership is. So he's in there right now, and he opens the thing up, and it shows where the streams are being pulled right now. And somebody is listening in Finland, in Helsinki, Finland. So, hey, Helsinki, send me an email, Thom@ThomAbraham.com. Put the H's in there.
I mean, I'm willing, Thom. I know that, Thom, I know that you may not be up for it, but I am up for doing a remote in Finland if we have to.
My guess is, Joe, this is probably one of the Finnish Predator players that I befriended back in the day. Maybe he's back home. This could be Pekka Rinne.
I was about to say, are you saying Pekka Rinne is listening to us right now?
Could be. Pekka used to come in, when he was a young player before he became a superstar, he used to come in studio with me and hang out. So this could be Pek's listening in Finland. I'm not sure who it is. It doesn't tell us that. But Finland, hit the text window. Okay, how about that? It'll be expensive for them to text, probably.
No, not if they use like a Google Text or you have the Google phone or something like that. I think Zoom just added text messaging. You can do all that. It's not a problem.
732-982-7469. Finland, we want to hear from you, man. Tell us why you're listening to this sports talk. Probably an Alabama fan. They're probably a Bama fan. It just says that
it's a military base in Finland.
Yeah. Do we have a military base in Finland?
Sure, we have military bases everywhere. I'm just saying, some guy in a military base, I need to know how bad Bama are going to destroy Wisconsin. I'm listening to Thom.
By the way, we're backing up Steve Merrill just a few minutes because they're cleaning his ducts right now. The two things I always say, Joe, is one, you should take your dongle everywhere with you. And two, you should get your ducts cleaned as often as possible.
Well, I've heard getting them in a row, but what? Yes. Are we washing them right now? Is it
not ducks with
some
a K?
Dove?
Ducks with a T. This is duct. ducked with a key. He's getting his pipes cleaned right now. Okay.
Oh, now getting your pipe clean. That's also something you got to do, especially over 50. You got to start doing that.
So he's getting his pipes clean, and he is. We're going to back him up 10 minutes. I don't even know what that does to our clock, to be honest with you. Just get ready to figure it out on the flight. Let me get Wolverine Dan in here quick. Wolverine Dan, welcome to the show. How are you?
What's Pecker's first name? Richard?
Pecorine. What are you talking about?
You suck. You didn't even want a Stanley Cup. Don't even talk about it. God,
Right.
Lord, you've been playing over 20 years. So anyway, with that said, the camp counselors play on the weekend at the camp, and they have a Hall of Fame drummer in the band, my friend. These guys are unbelievably good. It's called the Camp Counselors. They play in the camp.
Cool. Now, that's the guy from Nine Inch Nails? That's the drummer from Nine Inch Nails?
No, he's in
it's
Michigan.
a different guy?
He moved back to Michigan. He's the university professor at Michigan.
Yeah.
Now,
yeah,
I hear that my friend Badger Larry's going to the game in Wisconsin.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah. So who does he root for? I hope he says Wisconsin because
Oh, yeah, he'll be
you
pulling
can't
for Wisconsin, yeah.
Yeah, you can't put – if you've been born and raised in Wisconsin, you got to pull for Wisconsin. I can't root for two teams. There's only one team, and that team's a defending national champion.
Yeah. Are they still, though, after what you saw on last Saturday?
Is there a new one crowned yet?
No, but
that's why I still should be Natty Danny. But that's okay.
Yeah.
I still feel – and my son calls me Natty Danny. It's okay. That's all right.
I think you should be Detroit Danny is what you should be right now.
Well, you know what? Speaking of that, my Florida friend, listen, man, you ain't going to those Super Bowls. You know what? You not only draft good athletes, but you draft athletes that have character. And Hill ain't got no character, buddy. And that's like a bad apple in the bunch or a rotten egg, okay? It fescules and it ruins the team. So you ain't going to no Super Bowl, buddy. And the Bills are going to be wiping you the floor with you, brother. It's not going to be pretty. And you know what? It comes through Detroit anyway. It's going to happen, Tom. This is what I've been waiting for.
All right, they having the Super Bowl at Ford Field? Is that what's happening? Are they going to have a Super Bowl up there?
No, I'm saying Super Bowl's going to be in my right. I can't wait. I'm itching to go. I'm going back on another trip. Going back home. When I get home, I'm going to lace the K on the freaking not only the Lions, but I'm going to tell you a bet that I want to make. Dart from Ole Miss to win the Heisman.
Oh no! Don't be silly now. I mean, he might get to New York, but don't be silly. Let's not go Heisman for Jackson Dart now. Let's not go high. Let's not go there. Let's not get nuts.
Look, and Kiffin he's gonna win. You watch. Kiffin's gonna go long he's gonna be in the playoffs. You watch.
Yeah.
Mark my
words. Well, I think they'll be in the playoff too. I agree with that. So, all right, Wolverine Dan, good call by you, man, today. Good job by you.
Oh, Natty Danny, you're welcome.
I don't know. I mean, what do you think, Joe? Do we still call him Natty Danny?
Oh no, season starts. You stop celebrating.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's time. What did Saban used to say? There is no repeat. They asked him, "Are you going to repeat this year? Are you guys going to try and repeat?" And there's just no repeat. This whole new team.
It's a totally different team.
A whole new team.
I mean, it's totally new.
Repeating.
It's technically totally a new coaching staff.
No. All right, we'll get a break. I do not know yet 100% whether or not Steve Merrill is coming via phone or vid. So we'll see. I mean, we'll try both and see how it's going to work. I think we're going phone because he's getting his ducts clean. All right. And which is better than getting your clock cleaned. If you're a handicapper, you don't want to get your clock cleaned. You want to get your ducts cleaned. All right. But we'll talk to Steve Merrill next about the big games that are coming up this weekend. And pay attention because some of these games are liable to be and beat the big dog. All right. We'll be back from the Salt Factory. It's the Thom Abraham Show.
You're listening to the Thom Abraham Show with Joe Hunk on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
This is Brent Musburger's VSiN Action Update on 97.7 ESPN The Zone. Check out VSiN's catalog of original podcasts, daily and weekly programming to keep you in the know when you're on the go. Only at VSIN.com. Now, here are the latest lines from my guys in the desert.
Browns quarterback Deshaun Watson has denied allegations of sexual assault and battery that were part of a civil lawsuit filed earlier this week in Texas. The NFL Tuesday said that it's reviewing the complaint under the personal conduct policy. Watson said,
game plan and trying to be better than we were last week so we can get a W.
Browns head coach Kevin Stefanski said Watson will still start Sunday against the Jaguars.
We'll let due process play out and follow the NFL's guidelines.
Jacksonville's a 3-point favorite heading in. Tonight in Miami, the Dolphins and Bills square off, each team 1-0. Miami favored by 2.5. Buffalo plus 115. The over-under 48.5. That's the VSiN Action Update on 97.7 ESPN The Zone. I'm Chuck Sanders.
Tom Luganbill here for my friends at Woody Anderson Ford. Bobby White and his team take great pride in their service department, and you can see it the moment you walk into those beautiful new service lanes. And just like a championship team, they all work together to make sure your experience is second to none, whether you drive a Ford or not. Also, check out the gold certified pre-owned inventory at Woody Anderson Ford for great deals every day. Stop by and see them at Jordan and Sparkman or at Woody Anderson of Madison on Hughes Road, or visit WoodyAndersonFord.com.
No representation is made that the quality of the legal services to be performed is greater than the quality of legal services performed by other lawyers.
This is Wes Neighbors sitting here with Stan McDonald. Stan, tell everybody why you're the best damn dirt lawyer in North Alabama.
Yes, Wes, at Jacob Title and the Stanton Law Firm. You know I'm a dirt lawyer, and a lot of our friends know that, which means we specialize in real estate. Now, if you own real estate or you're buying it or you're selling it, you need to do a closing, but a lot of times there's legal issues associated with that. We're a great group to talk to. My son, Lewis McDonald, heads our commercial closing division, and we approach your real estate needs very seriously. We seek to be the premier real estate closing company in North Alabama, and we do it in such a way it shows that we're experienced, we're for your success. We like to handle your real estate needs the same way Coach Dan Reeves used to say, never let them see you sweat. And that's going to be to your benefit, too, when you visit us at Jacob Title and the Stanton Law Firm. Our website online is jacobtitle.com.
The state's largest orthopedic group is growing to meet the needs of the patients in our community. The Orthopedic Center has long been the most trusted name in orthopedics in North Alabama. So as our area continues on the fast track, so does the need for premier orthopedic care anywhere and anytime you need it. TOC is proud to announce the opening of our new locations in Albertville and Hampton Cove, along with the grand opening of our newest office in Decatur. These clinics will offer the same high-quality orthopedic care you have come to associate with TOC, with the convenience of being closer to home. As a patient, your time is your most precious asset, and we recognize that at TOC. That's why we are also proud to announce the opening of our urgent ortho clinics to handle those bumps and bruises that need prompt attention. These clinics are available to care for acute orthopedic injuries with no appointment necessary. With 38 physicians, 20 centers of excellence, and now more than a dozen locations to serve you, TOC will continue to be the name you turn to for the best orthopedic care at the right time. Visit our website at visittoc.com for more information. TOC, helping you live a better life.
When you call most roofing companies, all you'll hear is, you need a new roof. Not when you call Fleming. At Fleming Roofing and Restoration, we're focused on your needs, whether it's an easy repair or a full roof replacement. Folks around here have trusted Fleming since 1965 for all their residential and commercial roofing needs. And as the area's storm damage experts, Fleming knows all the ins and outs of the insurance claims process. Log on FlemingHSV.com to schedule your free estimate today. Fleming Roofing and Restoration. We show up.
From the Fox 54 Weather Center, I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman. Going to be on the cooler end of the spectrum this afternoon. Temperatures only climbing into the upper 60s and lower 70s. But we're going to be talking about showers and thunderstorms through a good chunk of the afternoon. And then even as we head into the evening, thunderstorms going to remain possible as we head into the overnight early into your Friday morning. Temperatures drop into the mid and upper 60s. A mostly clouded overcast sky through Friday afternoon. Showers and thunderstorms going to remain possible across the Tennessee Valley. Though through Friday afternoon and Friday evening, that activity should begin to become a little more scattered in nature. I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman on your home for ESPN Radio, 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
The best local sports talk with the best in college football. A perfect combination. Hi, this is Chris Stewart. Listen to Alabama football all season long on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Segment of the Tom Abraham Show is brought to you by Orthopedic Center, where thousands of area residents have received world-class care from the Valley's most trusted and experienced group of orthopedic surgeons and medical specialists. Don't forget, tomorrow night, the Friday night clinic will be open as well at the TOC location downtown from 8 o'clock till 11 o'clock. So hopefully everybody gets through the night with no dings or any of that. But if you do need to see an orthopedic, you can go on down to TOC. Whether you're at a TOC school or not, you can go down to the after-hours clinic at TOC, or whether you're an athlete or not. I mean, if you're a fan and you God forbid you slip a little bit on the grandstands and they're wet and you hurt yourself, you can go on down there to the after-hours clinic. Who knows? Maybe you're a broadcaster. Maybe you're like Joe and you're doing a game, Joe, and maybe something happens, when you're leaving the stadium, and you decide that you need an orthopedic. You can go right on down there to the TOC after-hours clinic.
Well, yeah, I mean, if at some point in time you just, pull a muscle while you're trying to jump up and down because your team was down 14 points and with 2 minutes to go and they tied the game up with 9 seconds to go, and you and your color analyst were just jumping up and down on top of a press box, you may have hurt yourself. I mean, I'm just giving out a scenario of something that could possibly be a reason why I would need to go to them.
And like, if you're LSU Lynch, let's say you're LSU Lynch, you know what I mean? And you're a Hazel Green guy. And, you're listening to Buckhorn and Hazel Green. At some particular point in time, you might want to take a ball peen hammer and hit yourself in the head. You know what I mean? So that could be what you do. And then the next thing you know, you got to go see a doctor, there at the, at the TOC after-hours clinic. So, you never know.
Just scenarios that we're throwing out as to why you may need to go there.
We're vamping because we don't have Steve Merrill yet. So what's going on? Is his phone ringing? Is he coming in on a video? What's going on over there?
That would be phone is giving me a nice, lovely song to listen to, but it goes directly to voicemail. And video wise, we do not have anything. So
look at look who just showed up. The ladies are here. There you go. Over there. There's
hey, I know
there's
them.
the original. There's the original, the Junker Baby, and then there's Kelly next to her. And the manager is very excited that Kelly is here. Not me. I'm just a dude doing a show in a corner. Okay, they're more excited that
Kelly's dad
is here, and now Kelly is here. So maybe she can go in the corner and belt out a couple of songs from their new album. It could be that way. Oh, look at this! I just got a message from Albert Hainsworth. Wonder what's up with Big Al. Huh? It's interesting. 2 years, Joe, I did Albert Hainsworth's show in Nashville.
You want to talk about a defensive lineman that lost like 150 pounds after he stopped playing football? That man is skinny now.
Well, he was terrified because he had the issues with he started having some brain issues, and it really scared him. And he had he was like, I better get in really good shape. So, but I wonder how he's doing. I haven't talked to him in a minute. All right. So let's get, is Dr. Detroit still hanging around? Let's talk to Dr. Detroit while you continue to effort Steve Merrill. Dr. Detroit, welcome in. How are you?
Guys, how are you, man? Always a pleasure. Good. I'm at Buffalo Wild Wings watching Tigers matinee, and Screwball just hung one out to get knocked out of the ballpark. But
no, he didn't just hang one. He hung one to Jordan Beck for Jordan Beck to hit one out.
Oh, somebody else is watching baseball too, huh?
No, I get the updates because I have Beck. I have it set up when Jordan Beck does anything, I get the update. So yeah, Hazel Green alum
God, you're talking about a true fan, aren't you?
Look, man, I live right down the street from the high school. He and my nephew played ball together.
Yeah.
Oh, wow, I had no idea. Really? Well, that's cool.
Yeah.
That's way cool.
Tigers just 3 games out of the playoff right now, chasing the Twins.
I'm not going to say a word. I'm not going. Y'all talk all day. You're not going to get anything from me until if it happens, it happens. But what a tremendous come from behind, just like Jared Goff and the Detroit Lions against Matthew Stafford and the Rams. But hey, first and foremost, man, Matthew Stafford, he's such a champion. What a great quarterback, man. I still root for him, unless they're playing against us, but. No, I still like Matt, good family man, the whole 9 yards. But, he was making some unbelievable passes, tremendous. Will he be a walk-on Hall of Famer?
Say it again. Now, Stafford, you're talking about?
Yeah, would he be? Well, at least consider.
He's not a first ballot guy. I think Matthew Stafford is closing in on a Hall of Fame career. Yeah,
okay.
Closing in.
Okay. Well,
it'll be interesting because he's in that. I think he's in that kind of that Phillip Rivers category a little bit. He's got a lot of yards, but he does have the Super Bowl. So that's that thing.
Yeah.
Now, I'm one that doesn't think that Eli Manning is a Hall of Fame quarterback because, yes, Eli Manning had 2 great runs where he went on and won a Super Bowl, didn't win a playoff game in the rest of his career other than 2 Januaries where he had those great runs. And I know what it is. That's a big deal. But he was 151 and 151, in his career as starting quarterback, and he had an 88 passing rating. So, I didn't really get excited about Eli Manning's career, but, we'll see whether or not it's going to happen or not.
Well, I agree on that. The last 3 years, he really stunk it up. You talking about someone falling fast. I don't think he ever picked it up. It's just I don't know. The youth left them or whatever. But anyway, we got another playoff team. We're playing Tampa Bay Sunday, so we'll see how that goes. Aaron Rodgers and the Jets. Sort of a debacle, but a great San Francisco team. You really can't compare anything, especially at the first game. But we'll see what happens. Real quick, on this. Did I hear the most ungodliest rumor that Tennessee's favored like 47.5 points? Is that true?
It wouldn't be. Well, it depends. You talk about the Tennessee Volunteers. It wouldn't be out of the realm of possibility. They're playing Kent State, for God's sakes. So yeah, I would think that they're
that much. Wow.
Yeah, but that's not unusual for a game like that. They won 73-0 their first game, or 68-3, or whatever it was. So. All right, appreciate you.
Always a pleasure. Thank you.
Dr. Detroit, always good to hear from him. Number one of our Nashville listeners. So it's always good to hear from Dr. Detroit. Of course, we are here at the Salt Factory, and we're going to be joined momentarily here by Steve Merrill. We'll have him just for a few minutes, but a little bit of Steve is better than no Steve at all, especially with Beat the Big Dog coming up in the second hour of the show. And, 27-7 in baseball, 27 out of 34 picks. I don't know. I'm a math guy a little bit, Steve, but is that good? 27 out of 34? Is that pretty good?
It's pretty good. We'll take it. I liked it better when it was 27-6, but we knew we weren't going to win every single play. But 27-7 is baseball. And what's funny is, Tom, I went back and looked at WagerTalk.com. The last 2 seasons, nobody's won more units of ATS profit in college and pro football combined either. So it's not just baseball; it's football also. And in fact, I'll get right to it. I actually asked WagerTalk to do a special code for your listeners today. I didn't even give you a heads up on this because I've been scrambling today. But 977 ESPN. If they use that. And when they have an account, they can either create an account, even if they have an existing account, they'll get a free best bet this week and a $25 best bet. So that's 977 ESPN when they sign up with Steve Merrill at WagerTalk.com.
Oh, that's tremendous. Write that down, Joe. We'll put it on the social. 977 ESPN at WagerTalk. You get a free $25 bet. That's good. The baseball has been outstanding. I'm going to take full responsibility for screwing up last night's pick because I said to you, that just because, you were 27-6, and I'm like, the law of averages, you got to miss a pick once in a while. I shouldn't even play this one, and I played it, but I shouldn't have. But so it's my.
Yeah, I didn't want to bring that up, Tom, but I did find it interesting that you didn't say that when I was 22-6, 23-6, 24-6, 25-6, 26-6. You waited till we were 27-6. I will give you credit that your intuition was spot on.
Yeah, well, you can't hit them all. That's just the way it goes. And it was a tough Sunday.
Big picture lesson though. If you thought that way at 22-6, you would have missed 5 more straight winners. So that's why it's so important to just play consistent, as you know, and just play consistent and just set it and forget it. Right.
We are up many, many units. Even with a rough Sunday, we're up many, many units. It's the first week of the NFL is so tough, and you and I like to crunch numbers. It was the most rushing yards in week 1 since 2008. And in fact, it was the second most in the entire century. And it was the lowest passing yards in the entire century since 2000. And it'll be interesting to see if this trend continues. The scoring was down as well. It's almost like teams have thought, you know what, we're going to stop chucking it all over the place. Let's see if we can't pound it a little bit. And that makes the scores come down too.
Yeah, it's like fashion, right? Everything comes full circle. It's funny. I was having a conversation yesterday with people about cassette tapes and CDs, and how vinyl has made a comeback. And I think we're seeing the same thing now in pro football. And there's another reason for it. First of all, everybody was caught off guard by all the pass-happy offenses for a few years, and scoring went way up. But what have teams done? They've gotten more edge rushers. They've got more defensive backs, right? They prepared for it. So you can almost make an argument now you have an edge running the ball against the pass defenses. So I think things have changed. I think there's also the quarterbacks in the league. They want to take some of the pressure off the young guys in week one. But we've seen it from the odds. Totals were in the 50s a few years ago, and now they're back down to the mid to low 40s on a lot of games. So NFL has changed once again, and it's kind of like the zigzag in the NBA playoffs. Teams that lose make the adjustments, in game two, and I think we're seeing that now in the NFL.
Let's take a look at a couple of games. Of course, there's a big one tonight in Miami, and Josh Allen has had his way with the Dolphins. I mean, his numbers against the Dolphins are outstanding, but this is too big a game to be doing on 3 days rest, man. I continue to voice my objection, not that anybody's listening, but I voice my objection to Thursday night critical games like this. This game could actually decide this AFC East 4 months from now, and the Bills getting a couple of points.
I totally agree with you. And I was thinking about you on Sunday when I saw the schedule for this week, and I was like, with as many, teams there are, and they're playing games on Friday in Brazil now, and there's bye weeks, why not just always give a team a bye before the Thursday night game?
Yeah.
It's such a simple solution because, I think everyone only plays like once, twice at most on Thursday night football, so it wouldn't be a big deal. Now, I get that they don't want to give somebody a bye in week 2. That is a problem. I understand that. But they don't do it during the regular season later, like in months 2 and 3. So I do think it's an extreme disadvantage, especially for the road team. And we've talked about this for years. The numbers bear it out. Home teams in general, especially home favorites, have been good plays just on the blind for several years now with Thursday night football. And you look at this line, it's up to 2.5. 3 is such a key number. It has not hit that key number yet. So I do kind of think Miami's the play just situationally at 2.5 or less. I will say this, so if you like the Bills, you're better off probably using a 6-point teaser. Take them up to 8.5, cover all those key numbers. Would probably be my preferred play with that game.
Alabama goes above the Mason-Dixon line for the first time in a while. It's a rarity for the Tide. They will do it more and more now over the next 10 years, but they opened at 14.5. It's now all the way up to 16.5 at Wisconsin. Did not look impressive, certainly against South Florida, until they just blew it open in the last 5 minutes of that game. But what do you think about the Tide laying a fat 16.5 in the Big Ten against Wisconsin?
Yeah, I turned that Alabama game on last week, probably about mid-through, and it was close again. I was like, thought maybe I had the replay from last season on. I had to make sure it was the live broadcast because South Florida's given them trouble back-to-back years. Let's start with my simulation. I run 10,000 games through the simulation every week for all the games, and I have Alabama by about 13.5 on average in this game. So you mentioned that line move from 15.5 up to 16.5. I do think it's a little pricey. Let's wait to see if we get 17, though. 16 is a dead number. At 17 or more, I definitely would start leaning towards Wisconsin. And you would have to say it's a live home dog. It's an unusual scheduling spot for Alabama.
South Carolina seems like they're a little better football team than maybe what we thought off the jump. We don't know. It's still way early, but LSU goes in there, and LSU's a 6.5-point favorite. I don't hate getting points with Carolina at home. LSU got a problem at running back. What do you think?
Yeah, I like South Carolina in this game. And once again, my projection actually makes it a pick 'em. Even some projections I run have South Carolina winning this game outright. So this is definitely a live dog because I think they could win it straight up. And you mentioned 6.5. There's also 7s out there. In fact, if you check the Wager Talk live odds screen, you'll see there's both 6.5s and 7s. In fact, as we're doing this show live right now, the Circa in Las Vegas just went to +7 -115, which means they're closer to moving off that key number. So if you like South Carolina, go ahead and grab the +7 now as it's starting to drop in some spots.
And a game to be heard on our air will push forward to Monday night when the Atlanta Falcons visit Philadelphia. Philadelphia off of that win down there in Brazil. The Falcons getting 6.5 after a disappointing loss, against the Steelers. And fans are already all over Kirk Cousins saying this was a huge mistake after one game.
Yeah, and you look, of course, at Green Bay on Sunday. They lose Jordan Love at the end of that Brazil game, have to travel home. They get a home game. At least Philly gets a home game as well. But I do think on the surface, it's probably not a great spot having to come off that Brazil trip. They do get a little extra rest being the Monday Night Football game. We'll have to see where this line settles. The look-ahead line this summer was 4, and now it's 6.5 across the board. But there are some 6.5s -15. So I do think we might see some 7s by Monday night. So if you like Atlanta, I would hold off, wait for the +7. If you like Philly, you want to grab that 6.5 now.
Great job by Steve Merrill. Check out Wager Talk. You get a discount. Put in the code 977 ESPN, and you'll get a free bet on a $25 pick. Thanks, Steve.
Thanks, Tom.
All right, we'll get to break. When we come back, we're talking some Auburn. Justin Ferguson will join us next from the Auburn Observer, and then we'll have a Beat the Big Dog coming up in hour number 2. Live from the Salt Factory, it's the Thom Abraham Show.
Normally, when you call a roofing company, all you hear is you need a new roof. Not when you call Fleming Roofing and Restoration. Since 1965, the folks at Fleming have been focused on what you need, whether it's an easy repair or a full roof replacement, commercial or residential. And when it comes to storm damage, you want Fleming on your side. They know all the ins and outs of insurance claims and will guide you through the entire process. Log on FlemingHSV.com and book your free estimate today. Fleming Roofing and Restoration. We show up.
Hi, folks. Bobby White back again for Woody Anderson Ford, inviting you to come test drive any one of our over 100 F-150s. From rock-solid, dependable work trucks to our state-of-the-art Platinum Series, we've got an F-150 for you. Test drive one today, and you'll understand why the F-150 is the best-selling truck in America, going on 48 years in a row. Just as successful offenses and defenses are built on teamwork, Woody Anderson Ford is powered by our people. Our sales and service teams are well trained to save you time and money. And because we want your business again and again, no one will work harder to earn it. Our mobile service teams come to your home or business for oil changes, brake work, tire rotations, and more. And the great thing is you don't pay extra for it. We come to you with mobile service at no extra charge. Proud to be local, family-owned, and at your service for over 62 years. Woody Anderson Ford, Alabama's F-150 Superstore.
Situated downtown on Clinton Avenue, you'll find the Church Street family's take on delicious seafood and more. Sea Salt. At Sea Salt, the food speaks for itself. Fresh oysters, shrimp and lobster, and non-seafood fare. Plus a large selection of wines, regional and local beers on tap, and a full bar. Catch the downtown vibe with Sea Salt's unique outdoor city street and patio seating with a view of Jesse Andrews' mural, bringing an underwater world to life. No reservations necessary. Sea Salt, 114 Clinton Avenue.
This is SportsCenter.
I'm Christine Lisi. The Pac-12 will be adding 4 Mountain West schools. Boise State, Colorado State, Fresno State, and San Diego State will join Oregon State and Washington State in the Pac-12 in 2026. Still leaves the Pac-12 2 schools short of the 8 they need to have in place by NCAA rule in 2 years. The departing schools are required to pay an exit fee of about $18 million with the 2 years notice. The Pac-12 is expected to be in position to help with those fees. Bills and Dolphins kick off week 2 of the NFL season tonight. Miami injured running back Raheem Mostert is out with that chest injury. Dolphins running back Devon Achane will be a game-time decision because of an ankle injury. Astros could be without second baseman Jose Altuve today against the A's. He's uncertain after leaving last night's game with right side discomfort.
WZZN, Union Grove, Huntsville, Alabama. 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
Eagle Masonry and Installation. It's right there in the name. Eagle is your one-stop shop for block, stone, or brickwork, monument signs, and outdoor kitchens and fireplaces. Eagle also offers the finest craftsmanship and insulation, including fiberglass or spray foam insulation, and of course, insulation removal. Philip Love and his team have years of experience, bringing the region the best in masonry and insulation services. For more information and a quote, visit insulatewitheagle.com or call 256-755-1556. Eagle saves you time. Eagle saves you money.
If hunting and outdoor recreation are your passions, it all starts with the right property. That's where I come in. I am Bo Butler with Southland Realty and Auction, a hunting and recreational land specialist and a Jackson County native who sees land through a hunter's eyes. Just as you trust your guide on a big game hunt, you can trust me to find the perfect property for you. Thinking of selling? Let me help you make your land attract buyers. Remember, Bo knows land. Call me at 256-609-0512.
Follow us on Facebook at 97.7 ESPN.
Okay, guys, show us what you got.
On Twitter at 97.7 ESPN. Online at 97.7ESPN.com. We are 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
You need to be more like a dog.
Like what you guys are doing. You've got your fingertip on the pulse of your listeners. You guys know what they're talking about.
Be a dog.
God bless the show. You are the Messiah.
We need more dogs.
This is the best show on radio.
The big dog, Thom Abraham, is here with you.
Hey, I see you. Hey, I see you, dog.
So settle in and get your bark on.
That's my dog.
Now live, here he is, the big dog,
Let's go, baby!
Thom Abraham.
How you doing? 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 How you doing?
Look, I don't speak Spanish.
I don't know how to say this, so I'm going to choose my words very carefully. I think you're a psycho.
Do you know who I am?
I mean, that guy sounds like Thom Ferguson farting into Miles Davis' trumpet.
I guess I'm on here. Am I on? Can somebody respond? Get off my lawn. I have to drag my Yankee ass out of here.
And welcome back. Hour number 2 of the Thom Abraham Show. We come to you live from the place where I'm telling you what, if you're looking for an old English pub type of vibe, this is the place. The Salt Factory at Mid-City is where you want to be. And they have an unbelievable fish and chips here. I mean, a fish and chip, and get the small. Don't get the large. Get the small, because the large comes with 3 huge fish. I mean, I could weigh in those fish and make some money. They're so big. So, get the small, which is just 2 pieces of fish, and it's absolutely tremendous here at Salt Factory. And keep an eye out for a Salt Factory deal coming up, zone deal coming up in the not too distant future. All right. Also, in the not too distant future, Auburn will be back on the field trying to get that bad taste out of their mouth off of the loss this past week to Cal. And joining us now to talk about that and where they go from here is Justin Ferguson from the Auburn Observer. Everything you want to know about Auburn is at the Auburn Observer, and he is on the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline. Ferg, welcome back. How are you?
I'm doing all right. How are you, Tom?
I am fantastic. Why does this loss feel worse than the loss to New Mexico State at the end of the season last year? Because, I mean, Cal is, they are a Power 4 team. I mean, and I know it was a 13.5-point line, but, there's this feeling, this mindset, that they got beat by a group of 5 team or an FCS team. And, they are a real, Power 4 team, but man, it just left with a bad feeling.
Yeah, I think it's disappointing because, a lot of Auburn fans are expecting things to be different. And the problem is they looked arguably even worse than they did against Cal last season when they escaped with a win in Berkeley. A lot of people are riding high off of the Alabama A&M game. They thought, okay, even though it was Alabama A&M, you saw the fireworks in the air with the passing game, and thought, okay, let's just keep it going against Cal, and Auburn was unable to do that. It was such a disappointing game for the passing game, and it's okay. You just went through a whole off season of, well, we can give Peyton Thorne the weapons, and we think he can be better, and there's going to be improvement. And the first real test you get to see more of the same. So I think that's why it's a more deflating feeling for Auburn fans than maybe even the New Mexico State game last year, because you're expecting things to be better, and they just weren't.
First time I heard the term coach killer was early in Vinny Testaverde's NFL career when he was with the Tampa Bay Bucks. And, what it was it was a reference to the fact that he looked great in his underwear throughout the week and made all the right decisions in practice and spun the ball well, hit everybody that he was supposed to hit. And then on game day, it wasn't there. And it's just so hard to figure out what you do there. I feel like we're getting a little bit of that with Peyton Thorne now. It feels like he probably looks clearly like the man during the week, but if you can't get it done on Saturday, I mean, what do you do? When do you pull the trigger?
Yeah, no, that is exactly what Auburn is kind of experiencing right now with Peyton Thorne, and that's what Hugh Freeze said this week. Like, hey, here's a guy who does everything right in practice, and you see it, and you're like, hey, this is our best bet. This is our guy. This is the guy we're going with. then he gets out there and there's a disconnect when the bullets start flying for real. And, that's the dilemma that that's in front of Freeze right now, right? Is Peyton Thorne probably the best equipped quarterback for this team right now? Everything on paper says yes. He's got a lot of experience. He's been a starter for so long. And the options behind him, they're just unknowns. And none of them are these, can't miss instant, impact type of, recruits, right? Even a guy like Walker White, who was very well regarded, the thought process was it's going to take him a little time to make that transition to the SEC from his high school level. So, you get into this point now where you're just like, all right, if I'm a coach, do I bench a kid and say, well, what we see in practice doesn't matter? Well, it definitely does matter. But if it keeps happening the way it's happening with this passing game, they're going to have to do something different.
Yeah, and there comes also a point in time where you feel like, what was the ceiling for this Auburn team? Remember, I had them at 8-4. And certainly they can still do that. Now they got to beat somebody else that we weren't sure that they would be able to beat. They're going to have to upset somebody maybe for that to happen. But if that's the upside, and if it's 7 wins or whatever 6-7 wins, be a bowl team. If that's where Peyton Thorne is taking you, then it makes you think that what. Better start getting some reps for, let's see if Hank Brown's the guy. Yeah. Let's see it. I've always wanted to go with the younger guy. I'm going to go with a 60-year senior over a freshman or a redshirt freshman. I want to see if that's my quarterback for the next 2 years or my next 3 years. Heck, I can go 7-7 with that guy or 7-5 with that guy just as well with Peyton Thorne. You'd think that's got to factor in at some point as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Because if you're Hugh Freeze, what is this season about? This season, I mean, we said it coming into the year. This season is not about contending for the SEC title. Auburn's not there yet. They're not at that level yet. But this was supposed to be, let's build a bridge to a brighter future. This is going to be a bridge season, and if the bridge quarterback that you have with these new weapons you have on offense, if he is not that much better than a younger quarterback, well, there's obviously going to be the appeal of playing the younger quarterback, right? So, that's the thing that I think is going to be so fascinating with this quarterback position moving forward, because what happens this week? Auburn plays New Mexico, and what if it looks more like the Alabama A&M game and Peyton Thorne goes out there and does really, really well, and then a week later against Arkansas, you run into the same problem again. So Hugh Freeze has had to battle that out, and in his mind, he's talked about it throughout the week, just the constant, do I get Hank reps in this game? Do you go ahead and make that move? And then there's a lot more to it than just, hey, Peyton Thorne didn't play well, it's time to move on to somebody else. There's a lot of different factors to work in here, and I think the schedule is part of it.
Yeah, with Arkansas, Oklahoma, and Georgia looming in the 3 weeks after the New Mexico game, that's the flip side of that is, okay, what if I do go with Hank Brown and he looks good? He may look very good against a team that's got a loss to an FCS team. He may look really good, and then everybody is, confident with that guy, and then all of a sudden it's different, when you get against the better opponents. And just I was startled by the number that you put in your article about the quarterback play under Hugh Freeze, that Hugh Freeze and Peyton Thorne are 0-8 in games against FBS opponents with a winning record and 53.8% percentage completion rate. And I think this has got some people rocked as well, because Freeze is considered a quarterback you can still hit open receivers. You can still not hold, make the blocks. You get lined up right. Do all of those things that would portend to a good outcome.
Absolutely. And here's the thing, Tom, that I've been trying to kind of stress this week with Auburn fans. Peyton Thorne and the quarterback position in general at Auburn did not play well at all against Cal. And that is a struggle because it's been a big thing moving forward. But it's been a thing for a while now. But here's the thing. It's not all on the quarterback. You know as well as anybody, it's like offense is like, there's a lot of pieces in there. And so while the quarterback gets a lot of the credit and a lot of the blame, I think there's things that Auburn can fix and work on that aren't necessarily dependent on who is lined up a quarterback. And I think Saturday is a good example of trying to show some of that. I thought Auburn in the Cal game got away from their running game a little too much. There were too many gaps in, how much they wanted to use Jarquez Hunter. And those guys, they finished with pretty good numbers on the ground as well. I thought Auburn could have done a better job of finding some of the quicker stuff. It felt like Peyton Thorne was defaulting to a lot of deeper shots that didn't really have much of a chance in that game. So I think there's some strategic things and there's some tweaks that they can do that even if they would decide to roll with Peyton Thorne at QB1 or decide to make a move to Hank Brown, I think there's things they can fix and improve on this offense that go beyond just, hey, the quarterback play was subpar against Cal. So that New Mexico game, this is a get-right opportunity, and I think it's a get-right opportunity for pieces of this offense that aren't necessarily the quarterback. So even if you don't get a lot of definitive answers about your quarterback position one way or another this Saturday against New Mexico, I do think you can take some steps in the right direction to fix and build up what you have around him so whoever it is moving forward can feel more comfortable and maybe more effective here, after getting punched in the mouth like they did against Cal.
And the other part of this, it'd be kind of interesting. It feels like we're taking all the credit away from Cal. I want to see. It'd be interesting to see what the rest of the season looks like from them. They're not. I mean, this is a team that's been improving, I think, in the last couple of years. It'll be very interesting to see how they do. Of course, this week they have that vaunted Pac-12 team, San Diego State. So they'll have them in the middle of the night. But then after that, it's at Florida State. They get into their ACC schedule at Florida State, Miami, at Pitt, NC State. Let's see how they look. It's possible that they don't suck. You know what I mean? It's possible that, it was 13.5, but at the end of the season, we might relook at this and say, that should have been about a 3 or 4 point line, maybe not a 13.5 point line. They did look like a pretty decent football team.
Yeah, I think they're really salty on defense. I think Justin Wilcox and Peter Sermon are always going to have good, strong defensive game plans in place. I think they've got guys in their system that can get after the quarterback. I think they've got a really experienced secondary that's very opportunistic. I'll see about their offense. The fact that Jaden Knott's been hurt and hadn't been able to run the ball much at all, their offensive line had some issues against Auburn on top of having issues in week one. That kind of gives me iffy, but I think Fernando Mendoza is a gamer. I think he's a good quarterback. That there's a reason why he ended up taking over that job last year for Cal. So I do think Cal could be, a 7 or 8 win team. I don't know how much better that's going to make Auburn fans feel at the end of the day, but I do think they're a better team than I think a lot of people around Auburn gave them credit for heading into this game, and not just because they lost. I think this Cal team's got some real juice to them. For Auburn, it's like, hey, this Cal team, though, is, they might be better than expected, but you're going to be playing a lot of teams that are better than Cal, or at least more talented than Cal on paper moving forward. So I think, the best way it was put was with Keldrick Falk, who had a really good game against Cal. And Auburn's defense had a pretty good game outside of the first quarter and a half against Cal. He said last week after the game, he said, look, we got to have this. We got to learn something from this loss. If we don't learn anything from the loss, it's, it was for nothing. And it's going to be, it's just going to stack up on us moving forward. So I think part of that is, all right, here's what you do when you have a team that's got some dudes on defense and some good strategy on that side of the ball. Here's what you got to do to fix it, because there's plenty of those in the SEC and there's plenty of those on your schedule.
They'll travel more than any other team in the country. And you wonder with the news that we got today about the 4 state schools out of the Mountain West joining the Pac-12, and then who knows what will happen as far as the Pac-12 with TV money and things like that. But you wonder at some point whether or not Stanford and Cal might regret a little bit making this decision and thinking, you know what, maybe we won't have as much TV money over there in the Pac-12, but we sure as hell won't have the travel expense that we have, making these trips. They're going to come back to Florida State. They got to come back and play Pitt. They got to come back and play Wake Forest. I mean, it's the travel is absolutely ridiculous. And who knows? Maybe they'll get smart and go back to where they belong, and build up that Pac-12.
Hey, if I'm Cal and Stanford, I know I've joined the ACC and I should get more money out of it. I'm kind of secretly rooting, if I'm them, for Clemson and Florida State to kind of bring the end of the ACC and make a nice, clean getaway back to a conference that makes more sense for them. That's what I would be rooting for secretly if I was Cal.
Well, they're not going to have just 6 teams out there, right? So the question then becomes, Are they going to take more Mountain West teams, or is there a chance they could pull somebody out of the Big 12 that just recently moved into the Big 12 that makes sense for them? Now you wonder, what it looks like in Arizona State, something along those lines, whether or not, it's all going to be based on what kind of a TV deal they can come up with out there. But that's a whole nother story for another time. See what we did there? We just spent 5 minutes not talking about Auburn getting beat by Cal.
Yeah, no, you gotta talk about Auburn. I guess in this point, and that's the thing. It's like I think that's just kind of a wake up call to where Auburn is right now. That a team like Cal can come in there and almost beat you last year. Probably should have beat you last year and beat you this year.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, man. Well, appreciate you as always. Great stuff. Check out the Auburn Observer. That's where you'll find them. They got great deal. What's the deal of the day now? How can people get the Auburn Observer for the rest of the year?
Yeah, you can just check out Observer.com. We still run our discount where, it's usually $6 a month, but if you pay yearly up front, you get it for a discount. So it's only $60 for a full year, and we email everything out to you. AuburnObserver.com. Check it out there. I got plenty of stuff coming from the Auburn, Auburn Cal fallout. We've got Auburn New Mexico preview stuff. Ton of stuff online. Go check it out.
And basketball coming too as well. All right, man. Appreciate you. Thanks as always.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Joe, I'm no math major, but $60 for the year, does that not sound like $5 a month? I mean,
absolutely.
All right, so that's a Finsky a month. And so that sounds like $1.40 a week. All right, so it's like 30 cents a day. So like 30 cents a day with all of the Auburn information you could possibly stand.
Why did you just make this sound like we're trying to feed hungry kids in Africa?
I mean, that's about what it is, though. I mean, I mean, this is
for 10 cents a day. You too can get on a message board and complain about Peyton Thorne sucking so bad.
Is Sally Struthers still alive? I mean, can she do the commercial for us? About.
If not, we can get AI.
We get like a little starving child with flies on him and stuff like that, and put an Auburn T-shirt on him, and see you can help support him.
She is alive. Sally Struthers is
is
still
she really
alive.
How old is Sally Struthers now? She's got to be like in the 80s.
She is 77 years old.
That's all?
Yeah, she was born in 1947.
Really? All right. I'll tell you, I've been watching the Tulsa King, with Sylvester Stallone, done by Taylor Sheridan, the same guy that did Yellowstone, and they put it on CBS, regular CBS TV. So they got all the potty words out of there. They got all the F-bombs out of there and stuff. You can tell where they cut one. You know what I mean? It's like, I think he said an F word right there. But it doesn't take anything away from the show. That's one of the things that bothered me about Yellowstone is like I couldn't sit there and watch Yellowstone with my wife because it was, she didn't want to hear all of that. And the language is just so bad. It's like every other word. And it's like people don't really talk like that, especially people who are, they'd have senators and big business, shaker and movers and stuff. And every other word, it sounds like a locker room. The show itself is good enough to carry it without, you don't need that to make it work. The storyline is good enough. Well, Tulsa King, it's on Paramount, the fresh season, but the last season is on CBS. So they took all the bad words out of there. So I've been watching it and it's great. And here's the thing, Sylvester Stallone, I'm looking at this thing. Sylvester Stallone is like 77 years old. And the dude is still like yoked. I mean, you don't want any part of Sylvester Stallone. You know what I mean? If you're running that guy in a dark alley, forget about it. You don't want to mess with that dude.
Well, and there's a reason why the Expendables why they did like 5 or 6 of those movies. because they were
coming out.
Because they can still do that. Now, Arnold's a little bit slower in Terminator, and the newest Terminator, he slowed down a little bit,
right?
But he's still jacked too.
Man, amazing. All right, we're gonna break. Joe, it's time for Beat the Big Dog, and I'm 0-2 this year. I've been being beaten by my listeners. All right, so we're gonna switch it up. Not the first caller, but the second caller that gets in right now. We'll play Beat the Big Dog when we return from the break. So go ahead, jump on the lines now. Be caller number 2 to 256-576-4977. You're playing for tickets to the Music City Bowl. You're playing for Chow as well. We'll throw some Salt Factory in there. If you can beat me, I got 3 college games and 3 NFL games. We play Beat the Big Dog from the Salt Factory next on the Thom Abraham Show.
You're listening to the Thom Abraham Show with Joe Hunk on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
This is Brent Musburger's VSiN Action Update on 97.7 ESPN The Zone. Check out VSiN's catalog of original podcasts, daily and weekly programming to keep you in the know when you're on the go. Only at VSIN.com. Now, here are the latest lines from my guys in the desert.
Browns quarterback Deshaun Watson has denied allegations of sexual assault and battery that were part of a civil lawsuit filed earlier this week in Texas. The NFL Tuesday said that it's reviewing the complaint under the personal conduct policy. Watson said,
game plan and trying to be better than we were last week so we can get a W.
Browns head coach Kevin Stefanski said Watson will still start Sunday against the Jaguars.
We'll let due process play out and follow the NFL's guidelines.
Jacksonville's a 3-point favorite heading in. Tonight in Miami, the Dolphins and Bills square off, each team 1-0. Miami favored by 2.5. Buffalo plus 115. The over-under 48.5. That's the VSiN Action Update on 97.7 ESPN The Zone. I'm Chuck Sanders.
Specializing in simple and affordable rentals, McCurry Van and Car Rental can make sure you have just the right vehicle for your next family vacation, weekend getaway, or if you just need transportation while your vehicle is being repaired. McCurry carries Ford Transit vans and Mercedes Sprinter vans, trucks and work vans, and more. And they offer discounted rental rates for long-term rentals. Now with 4 locations: Athens, Muscle Shoals, Coleman, and Huntsville. Log on McCurryRentals.com to make your reservation now. That's McCurryRentals.com.
The company is Eagle Masonry and Insulation, but did you know they're also Eagle Landscaping and Dirt Work? Eagle can take care of all your landscaping needs, including irrigation, sod work, and planting, both plants and trees. On the dirt work side, Eagle can grade and build your pads, haul dirt in or out, and even do erosion control. Philip Love and his team can do it all for you. The website is the same, insulatewitheagle.com, as is the phone number, 256-755-1556. Give them a call and see what Eagle can do for you. Eagle saves you time. Eagle saves you money.
Our customers trust us not only to find the right hardware, but to advise them on the technology that makes them more efficient.
My Next Level team researches and discovers real solutions. Check-in software, HR, digital signature, and workflow software. It saves you money immediately. We hold your hand and stay with you through the transition.
We're taking our customers to the next level in business process automation.
Chapman Commercial Realty, your source for Alabama commercial real estate. Chapman Commercial Realty has the experience and expertise you're looking for when making commercial real estate decisions. If it's office space, retail space, investment property, or project development, Chapman Commercial Realty is your answer. Call Bill Chapman today at 256-656-8413. That's 256-656-8413. Or find them online at chapmancommercialrealty.com.
Tired of the same old menu options everywhere you go? Then you need to try Metro Diner in Huntsville and Madison. The award-winning Metro Diner serves up signature dishes like their Charleston shrimp and grits, famous fried chicken and waffles with strawberry butter, and lots more. Their entire menu is available anytime, breakfast, lunch, or dinner. And stop by for brunch on Saturday or Sunday and enjoy the lowest price mimosas in town. Airport Road, Huntsville, and Highway 72 in Madison. In diner or at home, make it Metro Diner.
Hey Huntsville, looking for action-packed events? The Huntsville Sports Commission is your hub for all things sports. From youth events to national tournaments, we've got events that thrill and inspire. Whether you're an athlete, a fan, or a volunteer, there's something for everyone. Cheer on your favorite teams, witness amazing talent, and be a part of the excitement. Check out our event calendar and get involved at huntsvillesports.com. That's huntsvillesports.com. Be there, Huntsville.
From the Fox 54 Weather Center, I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman. Going to be on the cooler end of the spectrum this afternoon. Temperatures only climbing into the upper 60s and lower 70s. But we're going to be talking about showers and thunderstorms through a good chunk of the afternoon. And then even as we head into the evening, thunderstorms going to remain possible as we head into the overnight early into your Friday morning. Temperatures drop into the mid and upper 60s. A mostly clouded overcast sky through Friday afternoon. Showers and thunderstorms going to remain possible across the Tennessee Valley. Though through Friday afternoon and Friday evening, that activity should begin to become a little more scattered in nature. I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman on your home for ESPN Radio, 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
This is Paul Feinbaum. Listen to me coming up today at 2. Now back to the Thom Abraham Show on 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
So Joe Albert was just texting to wish me a happy birthday. Man, he looks great. I had not seen him. I saw, it was a picture with him in his avatar there, and you forget how young these guys are, because when they retire and they're like 36 years old or 34 years old, and you think of them like a grizzled veteran, and then you realize, I could be his daddy. I bet Albert Hainsworth might be your age. I bet he's only like 41 or something, 40, 41, 42, something like that.
I am looking it up right now. Albert Hainsworth is 43.
43 years old. He's only a couple of years older than you. Let me tell you something. My oldest daughter is 43 years old. I could be Albert Hainsworth's daddy. I mean, that's nuts. And I think of him like an old man, like he's a grizzled old veteran.
Oh, I thought of him that way. Every time I've met him, I'm like, yes, sir. Absolutely, sir. Uh-huh. He's 2 years older than me, 3 years than me. Yeah.
I mean, it's ridiculous. All right. I don't know how old Crimson Carl is. By the way, Joe, since you got back there, I don't know how much of the stuff that is on my page of the board that you may have been able to find or not find, because I know you're doing your own show with Captain Cool every day from 9 to 11 here on the Zone and on WCDT. But somewhere in there, I think there's a Beat the Big Dog Open.
Oh, you mean this? Yes, it is.
The rules to success, my friend. Rule number 1 is know what you know what you don't know, and know that I got to know everything you know as soon as you know it.
So I am 0-2 against you guys, but I'm going to turn it around now. All I would ask from Crimson Carl is don't be a lemon. Just don't want you to be a lemon.
I don't know how to say this without sounding a little rude, but you're a lemon.
No, don't be a lemon. I don't want to be a lemon. Crimson Carl may be one of the ones that got me last year on this deal. And he joins us now to play. Crimson Carl, welcome in. Did you beat me last year in this Beat the Big Dog? Because I got beat quite a bit.
Yes, sir, I did. And it was cold in Nashville.
Well, that means it's going to be nice this time. That means it'll be good this time. All right, so,
we can only hope.
Yeah.
And to answer your question, happy belated birthday to you. But
Thank you.
Coming Tuesday, I will be 59 years old.
59 years old. So everybody is younger than me now. That's what I'm finding. And the funny thing is I look in the mirror and I don't feel like for some reason, 64, I like 64 better than 63, Joe. I don't know what it is, but it's like, okay, I look good for 64. I say to myself, it's probably not true, but I say, you know what? I look pretty decent for 64. I looked old for 63. I was like, I look old for 63. But now that I'm 64, I feel like I look good for 64.
Are you saying that you look good for 63, like when you first turned 63? Or like, you know what I'm saying?
I never
was
liked
this like
63.
2 weeks ago?
No, 63 was bad the whole time. I never liked 63. I always felt like I looked old for 63. I felt like that, but now I feel like I look good for 64.
Oh, so it's a banner year for you, is what
I
you're
think
saying.
this is a good year for me. I think I'm having a good year. I mean, I've only been 64 for like 18 hours, but I think I'm having a good year so far at 64. So we'll see. But I'm not having a good year and Beat the Big Dog at 60. So 64 is going to be better and Beat the Big Dog than 63 was. I mean, that's the key. And so Crimson Carl, you know how this works. We'll alternate picks, all right? And you get to hear Joe's pick before you make your pick. I've got 3 college games and 3 NFL games, Carl. And do you want to go first on the first game, or do you want to go first on the second game?
I'll go second.
You'll go on the second game. So on the first game, I'm going first. Then you'll hear Joe's pick, and then you can make your pick. All right. So in this first game, it's tonight's game. The Buffalo Bills get 2.5 points at the Dolphins. And there's a dichotomy in this game. First of all, home teams do really good on Thursday nights, especially when a team